Hello, this is the channel Easy Self-Host. In this video, we're going to explore 5 self-hosted Notion alternatives. Each of these apps features some or all of the good features of Notion, including search, organization, templates, collaboration, sharing to public, and many more. After this video, you can choose what you like and start running your own note or wiki app. In the era of generative AI, keeping our data like notes on our own devices allow us to have a more personalized local AI without getting charged. The first app we're going to run is BookStack, which is an OG wiki app that's been around for almost 10 years. It may not look like Notion, but it has its own powerful features and has been very stable for a long time. Let's take a look at how to run BookStack with Docker Compose. In this video, I'll quickly go through the high levels of the Docker Compose files since we have a lot to cover. Please use the link in the description below to check out these files on GitHub. The BookStack Docker Compose has 2 services, the BookStack server and the MariaDB database. The BookStack image and the database image both come from linuxserver.io. The only thing we need to customize in this Docker Compose is the app URL environment of the BookStack server. For me, the URL will be bookstack.home.easyselfhost.com. For this URL to work, we need to attach the BookStack server container to the same Docker network of our proxy container. And we also need to set up the proxy rule for this domain name. Check out my video on HTTP proxy if you are not familiar with it. Here I actually have caddy proxy rules set up for all the apps I'm going to run today. And I'll go to the command line to start or restart the caddy proxy with the updated configuration, so I don't have to do it again for other apps. After this, let's run the Docker Compose in the BookStack directory. Then we can head to the browser and tap the URL we set. For me, it's bookstack.home.easyselfhost.com. The default login email is admin@admin.com and the password is PASSWORD. Now we are viewing the homepage of our BookStack web app. Documents are organized as books in BookStack. To create a new document, we first need to create a book and then create a page within that book. BookStack supports 2 types of editors. The default one is the traditional what you say is what you get editor, similar to MS Word. You can opt for the side-by-side markdown editor if you prefer. By pasting something here, we can see that it supports all common formatting options. In BookStack, remember that we have to manually save the content. BookStack also supports templates. We can turn any page into a template by opening the template panel in the editor and selecting the page is a template checkbox. When creating a new page, we can use the template from the template side panel to include all the template content. For searching, we can easily find our content using the search bar at the top of the page. BookStack supports multi-users, and as an admin user, we can create a new user in the setting. When creating the user, we can assign the username, email, and the password for the new user. Then let's log in the new account in another browser using the email address and the password. By default, the user will have no permission to access any book or page. The admin user has to go to the setting and assign a role like editor to the new user. With the permission set up, the new user can see the books and the pages, and can even edit the page with the editor role. There is no support for real-time collaboration in BookStack though. Each user will have to save the changes to let other users see the updates. BookStack also supports sharing content to the public site. To enable this, we have to go to the setting and enable the Allow Public Access option. After this, for each book or page we want to share to the public, we need to go to its permission section and enable the View option for everyone else. In the other browser, let's log out the account to test the public site. Now we can see the page we just shared, but we won't have the edit option as a guest user. That's all I want to share about BookStack, but it has many more features that you can try. BookStack is a true open source project with the MIT license, so there's no limitation on how you want to use the software. AFFiNE is the second app I'm going to run. It's a knowledge management app that resembles Notion in both its user interface and its features. It has excellent collaboration support, as we'll see in just a moment. The Docker Compose file for self-hosting AFFiNE includes 3 services: the AFFiNE server, a Redis cache server, and a Postgres database. The AFFiNE server image is hosted by the official AFFiNE website. All the configurations we need to adjust are in this AFFiNE.env file located in the same directory. Here, we need to generate 2 random secrets, the secret key and the util secret. We can leave the database URL and the Redis URL unchanged as they have already been set up as the default credentials. You can modify the password to make the database more secure. Like BookStack, we also need to specify the URL we are going to use. I will continue my tradition of using the domain outline.home.easyselfhost.com. AFFiNE requires that we use an external OAuth provider for authentication. We could self-host authentication providers like Authelia and Authentic, but that requires significant effort and deserves its own video. So we will use external OAuth providers here for simplicity. Note that the Google option only supports workspace accounts for some reason, so Gmail accounts won't work. Here I will choose the Slack option as it's free and quite easy to set up. We will need to create a Slack account and a workspace for this setting, and I have already done so. Then let's head over to api.slack.com/apps to create our app integration. Let's name our app, bind it to our workspace, and click Create App. The only setting we need to adjust here is the trusted redirect URL for our AFFiNE app. The redirect URL is your domain/auth/slack.callback. Then let's navigate to the OAuth and permissions page in Slack and scroll down to redirect URLs. Here, let's add the redirect URL for our AFFiNE app. Next, we'll move to the basic information page where we can find the client ID and client secret. These 2 fields are required for our AFFiNE configuration to set up authentication. Let's copy and paste these fields into the AFFiNE.env file. Now we can go to the server command line and start the Docker Compose of AFFiNE. Then let's open the browser and navigate to our URL for AFFiNE. Here, click Continue with Slack and log into our Slack account. At the Slack login page, we need to authorize the AFFiNE app integration. Next, we'll log into the AFFiNE app. Documents in AFFiNE are organized into collections. Let's create a new collection and name it Notes. From this collection, we can create a new document. The editor in AFFiNE is block-based, what you say is what you get. You can type in Markdown or use the UI to format, similar to Notion. We can say that it supports all common formatting. Besides basic formatting, if we type / in the editor, a variety of embedded options appear for different applications. For instance, we can use the YouTube option to embed one of my videos here. Templates in AFFiNE are managed in the settings. Here we can create a template for a collection. Let's create a template for a project tracking dashboard. This template will include some predefined content like tables. Let's publish this template. Then, when we create a new document, we can apply the template we created by selecting the template option at the top right. Searching for content is easily accessible from the side panel. Next, let's test the real-time collaboration feature by logging into a different account in another browser profile. For this browser, I already have another Slack account logged in. We need to share the document with the new user and grant them editor permissions for them to collaborate in the same document. After this, we can open the same document as the new user. Here we can start a collaboration session with real-time synchronization. AFFiNE also supports public sharing. We can enable public sharing for each document in the permission settings. This action will generate a unique link for the document. Let's try this by logging out of the account in another browser and navigating to this link. Here we can view the publicly shared document with the view-only permission. That's all for AFFiNE. Note that AFFiNE is considered a source available project, and its license permits only non-production use. To use it for production or commercial purpose, you need to subscribe to their cloud offering. AFFiNE is another source available option with similar features. It also supports drawing, allowing you to create good-looking documents like mind maps. The Docker Compose setup for self-hosting AFFiNE also includes 3 services: the AFFiNE server, Redis, and a Postgres database. We don't need an external identity provider for AFFiNE. Instead, we can simply use the environment to set the email and password for the admin account. We also need to specify the URL we plan to use. For AFFiNE, if we want to use multiple accounts, we must configure an email server to verify other users' emails. This needs to be a public email server with SMTP support. For example, we could use our Gmail account as the SMTP server. You will need to generate an app password for AFFiNE to send emails on your behalf. Here in these environments, let's fill in our email address and the app password. Now we can head to the command line and start the Docker Compose for AFFiNE. After it starts, let's navigate to the URL of AFFiNE. The landing page of AFFiNE might seem confusing because it displays the editor and a few documents, but note that the storage is local to the browser. To utilize the server, we must first sign in with the admin email and password we set up in the Docker Compose. You will notice AFFiNE isn't fully optimized for self-hosting, as it still includes several features from their cloud offering, like AI features. Now in the top left, let's create a cloud workspace, which uses the server storage. Let's name the workspace. For some reason, I named it Outline during the recording. I also recommend deleting the local workspace to prevent it from reappearing after you log out. The welcome document in AFFiNE is in edgeless mode where you can draw. But first, let's start with the normal page mode by creating a new document. AFFiNE also features a block style editor similar to Notion. It supports all common formatting, and also includes a so-called database like Notion, which is a table that supports multiple views. Currently, only the table view and the Kanban view. The embed support is less extensive than Outline, but it includes popular options like GitHub and YouTube. So I can embed my video here as well. Now let's try the edgeless mode by switching the mode on the top left. This mode works like a whiteboard. We can create shapes on the board and connect 2 components with lines and arrows. We can also drop a new document and write something on it. The pencil tool lets you draw anything you want. There are also predefined mind maps and stickers available. It's very fun to use the edgeless mode. AFFiNE also supports searching, and we can search text content using the search box in the side panel. To add a new user for collaboration, we need to go to the workspace settings and invite a member by email. If we set up the email server correctly, the new user will receive an email in their inbox with the sign up link. Let's sign up the new user in another browser profile. In AFFiNE, the new user will by default have access to the workspace. If we open the same document on both sides, we can see the content is also synced in real time. The real-time collaboration extends to the edgeless mode. Here we can see the drawing is also synced, making it an excellent tool for remote whiteboard sessions. AFFiNE also supports public sharing of content. In the Share menu on the top right, we can create a public link. With this link, content in the document can be viewed without signing in to any accounts. That's all for AFFiNE, and note that the AFFiNE server is also only source available, so it can only be used commercially with a subscription. There are many other source available projects with similar set of features such as AnyType and AppFlowing. I'm not going to cover them in this video since I have other truly open source projects to share. And the next one we're going to explore is Docmost. Docmost resembles Notion and Outline but with a smaller feature set. It features a similar editor with real-time collaboration support, though it lacks rich embedded capabilities and public sharing. The Docker Compose setup is pretty standard, including the Docmost server, a Redis server, and a Postgres database. We also need to specify the URL we plan to use. Like AFFiNE, we need to configure an SMTP server to invite other users. Here, let's input our Gmail address and add password. Then we can go to the command line and start Docmost. After it starts, let's navigate to the Docmost URL. Here we can set up our first account and the workspace. And now we are on the Docmost homepage with an empty workspace. Let's create our first document in the workspace. and paste our testing content here. The editor is similar to nodes in Outline and AFFiNE, supporting all the common formatting with Markdown. There's a minor issue with pasting the task list here, but we can easily fix it. For now, there's no support for external app integration for embeds, but we can still add image or video by uploading. Searching is supported and accessible from the side panel. Then let's try the collaboration feature. Similar to AFFiNE, we're going to invite the new user by email. The new user will receive an email with a sign-up link. With this link, the user can create their account. After the user logs in, we can open the same document on both sides and start writing. Here, we can see the collaboration is very smooth with a clear indicator of other users' presence. That's all I want to share for Docmost. Docmost is truly open source under the AGPL 3.0 license. You can use it for free with very few limitations. The last project I want to share is Trilium. Unlike the previous three apps, it's primarily a personal note-taking app without multi-user support. It lacks collaboration features but offers extensive options for note-taking and journaling, such as templates and scripts. The Docker Compose setup for Trilium is very simple, with only one service, and it uses file-based data storage. There's nothing we need to customize here, so let's head to the command line and start it up. Then navigate to its URL in the browser. The setup is straightforward, we just need to create a password. After creating the account, you'll find that Trilium has many initial notes on how to use it. Similar to what we have done so far, let's create a new document, and then paste our testing content here. Trilium's editor is similar to the ones in the previous apps, but with different aesthetics. All the common Markdown formatting options are supported. The search function in Trilium looks very advanced, offering a lot of options. To do a simple search, we can just type in the search box. For creating a template in Trilium, we can add an attribute at the top of the node with #template. Then when creating a new node, we can select this template. Trilium also supports public sharing. We can enable public sharing in the basic properties of a node, which will generate a public link. This link allows us to access the public view of that node. Trilium offers many other advanced features for note-taking and knowledge management. But nodes are beyond the scope of what we are testing in this video. Feel free to explore those features on your own if you are interested. These are the 5 apps I want to share in this video. You can pick one and start building your content library today. Here is a quick view of the features I have tested. Let me know in the comment which one you prefer, or if there are other similar self-hosted apps you are currently using. That's all for this video. Please consider subscribing for content like this. You can find the configuration files in this video on GitHub and the link is in description below. Thank you for watching.